It's Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for action in the Indy Open Series. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatto. Welcome to Race First coverage, sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups of Round 4 of this. Round 3 of the Indy Open Series Championship, coming to you from one of the crown jewels of road racing, the Long Beach Street Circuit. Joining me for expert analysis in the booth for today's race, he is my IndyCar teammate and regular participant in the Indy Fix Series. He's coming to us live from Mexico City. Please welcome Antonio Estrada. So, Antonio, it's our first temporary street course or road course of the season. What will it take to become king of the beach today for this season?
Hey, Gary, how's it going? Thanks, everyone, for watching. And, yeah, I mean, Long Beach, it's a great circuit, very scenic. But very tough on the drivers. The thing with most of the street circuits is there is really no margin for error. Whereas in a road course, you can get away with something a little bit, put a wheel up here or there because, you know, there's grass or dust or whatever. Over here, if you make a tiny mistake, you're gonna be met with the wall and potentially a lot of damage and maybe even potentially ending your race then and there. So concentration is key. To be able to navigate this course successfully. We're gonna do 46 laps around this course, so yeah, it's more about just being very, very consistent, being super clean with what you're doing, and trying not to lose concentration at any point, because something like what we just saw with Hugh Olsen there could happen to you in the race. Those curves are also they can't just push the car wide. So while they're very good at, you know, shoving a tenth or two of your time, they can also be a little bit dangerous and a little bit tricky to get correctly or nail them every single lap. So it's a cost-benefit kind of thing that you are going to have to manage during the race.
Looks like Brian Carey is on the provisional pole with about 3 minutes, 15 seconds left with a speed of 107.120 miles per hour. We'll translate that in the time here in a little bit, but there's a method to my madness. So there's 2 IndyCar-related track records here at Long Beach. Of course, there's the kart and then the IRL IndyCar track record. The kart track record is held by Brian Herta in 1998 on the 1.574 configured course with a speed of 111.226 miles per hour. The IRL IndyCar record is held by Colton Herta in 2000. He set it in 2022, just recently, our last visit there on the 1.968 mile configuration that we've been using since kind of the early portion, the late 90s, early portion of the 2000s. And he had a speed of 108.480 miles per hour. So as you see, Brian Carey there with about 2 minutes, 30 seconds left here in qualifying, not too far off the official track record. The career IndyCar wins leaders here at Long Beach. Well, the undisputed king of the beach is Allenter Jr. with 6, including 4 in a row from 88 to 91. And then also joining him up there on the standings there, Mario Andretti has 4, but actually 3 in IndyCar and 1 in F1. Paul Tracy, yes, Paul Tracy's among the leaders of the winners here at Long Beach. He has 4. Also on the list there, Michael Andretti with 2, Alex Zanardi with 2, Sebastian Bourdais with 3 in a row to round out the kart era. The current active IndyCar wins leader here are 2016 Indy 500 winner Alexander Rossi. He has 2 wins, and the most recent 2022 NTT IndyCar champion and a 500 winner in its own right, Will Power, also has 2. So stand by the garage here. It's almost time to go racing and get into it here in SoCal. About 1:35 left here in qualifying. Currently watching the cars make their final laps on their, looks like their tire choices. A lot of soft tire choices out there I see so far.
Yeah, I think I see most of the field, if not all the field, the entire field, running the alternates. The alternates are going to be a little faster for a couple of laps, and they will degrade, but not that much. So what we're saying, 46 laps, we're going to see just these drivers splitting it in half. They're probably gonna hit pit road around lap 25 to lap 30-ish, and then they will have to switch to the primary tire. So these the other is a little quicker. You're gonna see some blistering lap times here, especially in qualifying. I'm saying that those Brian Carey has a 105.5, and during the race we're gonna start seeing them do like 107s with the full tank, and once they switch to the primary tires, they're gonna be doing 108s. But it's gonna stay very consistent throughout the run.
Hey, if those of you that are seasoned YouTubers, it probably won't surprise any of you at all to know that only 47% of you that are watching right now are not subscribers. So let's change that. Help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. Got about 15 seconds left here in qualifying. And we're on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy Race First coverage of the Saturday 2 p.m. Eastern Top Split Indy Open Race and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. We have now less than 60 subscribers to go to get to the magical 1,000 mark. So help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We cannot get there without you. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you'll miss out on future Race First iRacing broadcasts. And now let's get into today's starting lineup.
All right. So getting the pole position is Brian Carey with a 105.5, and joining him in the front row is Kevin Burrell with a 105.6. Then we have in row 2 Hugo Olsen with a 105.9 and Syandra with a 105.9 as well. Then we have Thorsten Elric and Rashad Craig in row 3, Zachary Hubler and Doriano Ricciuti in row 4, Dan Piazza and David Porcelli row 5. Then we have Andrew Petty and Kevin Sam in row 6. Followed by Anders Arhus and Nathan Solano in row 7. Then we have John DeBarro and Charles Eric Lemelin in row 8. Followed by Ben Goyette and Lucas Einkemmer in row 9. Hope I didn't butch anyone's last name there.
Only 18 cars in the field. Small field this weekend, but small but mighty. Let's say I think it's about a 3.5K strength of field, so nothing slouch out here, I guess.
Yeah, no slouches here at all.
Yeah, those first five rows.
Gonna be
those first 5 rows are made up of some real sluggers up there.
Yep. Some heavy hitters down there, and it's gonna be very interesting to see all these guys how they navigate turn 1 and the fountain turn 2 and turn 3. They're going to be very, very close together. You need to be very patient at the beginning of the race. Make sure that tires are going to be cold, so the car is going to naturally move a little bit more. So just be patient there.
Yeah. We do have the track map here for you. If you're not very familiar with this configuration, if you're a longtime IndyCar fan, of course, you know this configuration pretty well.
Yeah, so they're going to be taking that hairpin turn 11, which is also very tricky right now to go to the front stretch. And they're going. They're gone.
Brian Carey wastes no time.
Thorsten Ulrich making a move there on Kevin Burrell for P3.
Everybody cleanly through the first couple set of corners. Brian Carey wasted no time on that start, though. He is scattered himself, or actually separated himself really quick from the top portion of this field, but Hugo's not letting him quite get away.
Yeah, Hugo's showing the car, making sure that Brian Carey is able to see him on his mirrors. Hey, don't forget I'm here. I'm also seeing that there are a couple of takers on the primary tire right now, unless we're having issues again with iRacing and what they're reporting on the tire selection. But
actually quite a few.
Ulrich,
yeah.
Thorsten Ulrich in P3 is currently the top runner of the guys on the primary tires. That's going to be interesting once he does his pit stop, because again, although there is not a lot of tire fall off, there is around a second that can be gained by going to the alternate in the very first laps of the race. So or the stint. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does when he has to do that pit stop and where he cycles back in.
So we have an 18-car field, and 7 of them, almost half, not quite half, but almost half, decided to go with the prime tire at the start. You do not really see that big of a split during these races. Normally it's like a couple guys toward the end, maybe one guy up front wants to gamble, but maybe more just more than a handful that go with the prime and everyone else is on the other compound. But a lot of people, especially from Cy Andrew from P5 on back to David Porcelli in P10, they are all on the prime tire at the moment.
Yeah, and I was just looking at some of the leaderboards and some of the reports that we have. Looks like Lucas Einkammer had an issue in turn 1. He went a little bit too deep, had an issue.
Rashad Craig, excuse me, I mispronounced his name wrong. He hit the wall. What happened there?
Yeah, and he's gone. So no hope for fixing that car.
Oh, it just didn't want to turn. It didn't want to turn, and day done. That's it. Day done.
Oof. Yeah, that's just the thing with the street course. Like we were talking about it a little bit on the pre-race. Yeah, I mean you can get away with a little mistake here and there in a road course because you're just gonna go off track a little bit. But over here, it's just the wall.
Yeah, there is no runoff. You either hit the kitty litter or the grass at a road course. Here, you are into the tire barrier, or at best, at worst, you are into the concrete barrier. But we got 2 Team Powerslide cars currently first and second, Brian Carey and Hugo Olsen, followed by Kevin Burrell, who's worked his way up to P3, or actually down to P3. He's lost a spot, but he's hanging on. We got Thurston Ulrich down in P4, Cy Andra in the first of the satellite racing cars in P5, Dory in the first of the 2 Old Dogs cars there in P6, Zachary Hubler there in that throwback Formula One but to IndyCar livery. He currently is in 7th. There's David Porcelli there in the other satellite racing car. He's worked his way up to 8th, passing Principal Dan in 9th, Andrew Petty 10th. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just watching the battle between Burrell and Thurston Ulrich. Burrell went by Thurston that after Ulrich went by him the first lap, and now Thurston Ulrich was pushing a lot and just touched the wall a little bit, exiting turn 6. Seems to be okay, but I'm gonna keep my eye out on him. I'm hoping that he doesn't have any damage, but yeah, that's the thing when you start pushing at these street courses, and especially Long Beach.
Well, let's keep the camera on Thurston Ulrich here. See what
Dan Piazza and Andrew Petty. I'm gonna take a look at what happened, but they're in the pits. I think something happened.
Yeah, let's go back in the Wayback Machine here, check him out. Petty is without a wing at the moment. One of the left plane is missing here in this broadcast, or in the replay here, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. So, basically what happened is exiting turn 8, Petty was carrying a lot more speed than Dan Piazza in front of him, and he basically ran into the back of his car. So, I think that's not necessarily terminal, but still that's going to take throw a wrench first in their strategy, and they're going to lose a lot of time getting those repairs done.
All right, Principal Dan hit the wall coming out of 1, so now he's already kind of slowed a little bit. He's got, looks like that's going to be one of the satellite cars behind him, David Porcelli. He lets Porcelli by. Yeah, he might be damaged from smacking that wall, or at least trying to recover from it. Oh, he smacks the wall again on corner. Yep.
And now, and Andrew Petty is also having the same issues. So yeah, his car only needed a new wing, a new front wing, and once he left the pits, well, after going into the throttle, the car just snapped and wrecked, entering the fountain. That's a tough break for those guys.
Well, after just that many laps here, 6 of 46. And again, thanks for joining us. You are on Race First coverage of Indy Open Saturday afternoon strength of field race here, sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. 6 of 46 in, and we are down to just 13 drivers on the lead lap now, or 12 drivers on the lead lap, 13 still in the race. I believe a couple of them are going through extended repairs. At least that's what they're showing on the on our display. Principal Dan still showing repairs. Kevin Stam still showing repairs. Limlin, still showing repairs, and Einkimmer, showing on repairs as well. But again, not sure if they will rejoin or not. They're just currently showing with extended stops doing repairs. Brian Carey is your leader as they come through turn number 8 onto what we call the backstretch here.
Yeah, I was still going back to what happened to all these guys, and Kevin Sam spun an entry of turn 4 and collected Charles Eric Lemlin, so that's also why those guys are currently undergoing repairs. Hopefully they're going to be able to rejoin the race at some point. Ooh, that was a lot to digest in the first couple laps.
Hey, real quick broadcasting note I want to mention to everybody that's listening right now. On November 19th, the Indy Open Saturday Strength of Field broadcast will conflict with the Open Wheels 500. So in an effort not to conflict and to remove as many of those type of conflicts as possible for the iRacing IndyCar community, RaceFirst is looking to reschedule our broadcast that weekend of the Indy Open Strength of Field race. Options to move the broadcast are to Friday or to push the broadcast back a couple hours later in the day on Saturday. We're currently discussing this with several participants right now in our RaceFirst Discord server. If you have some feedback and you'd like to offer, please join the discussion. There's an invite link can be found in today's broadcast description. Click on that, join the discussion. We will be just in the general channel discussing it. Give your feedback, we most appreciate it. We haven't made a decision yet, but it seems like the group is generally wanting us to move it to Friday. And that is Indianapolis week here on the Indy Open schedule, and they kind of want to use that as a warm-up race for the Open Wheels 500, which will be on Saturday. So we're still keeping options open, but right now we got some ideas where we want to go, but we'd like further feedback. If you don't mind joining, click on the link in the description, and you can join the RaceFirst Discord server and on the discussion on this topic. But that's just the broadcasting note I want to pass along. Meanwhile, back up front, the two team power slide cars continuing to pull away from Ken Burrell.
Yeah. And but Kevin Burrell hasn't been able to get Thurston Elric away from him. He's been there. He's still there, very much close to him. And I was taking a look at David Porcelli and Zachary Hubler. They were having a great battle, and finally David Porcelli was able to make a great move on their braking entering turn 8 on Hubler, and now he's running 7th to Hubler's 8th, but still a lot of racing left to go.
9 of 46. AC Porcelli has right in front of him Dory in the old dogs team livery there. Right in front of Dory is Cy Andrew, which is David Porcelli's satellite racing teammate.
And Porcelli is slowly but surely catching up with Doriano Ricciuti in front of him for P6, while this well, the battle for P4 or P3 with Kevin Burrell and Thurston Ulrich is not going away. They're still very, very close together.
Yeah, those are the two closest battles on the racetrack. Let's get back to this one here. Currently watching on board with Thurston Ulrich going into turn 7 here.
He's able to brake a little later. I was seeing him last lap, but he did a great move entering turn 11. He's able to take that very, very tightly and makes a couple of tens on Burrell. Let's see if he does it this time around.
We'll give you a last time by time report for each one of these guys as they hit the line.
Yeah, he wasn't quite able to do or to replicate what we did the last before, but still very close.
Yep, Burrell 108.1, Ulrich 108.2. Of course, the fall off of the red tires should be occurring right now, but Burrell's doing an excellent job at maintaining the life of his.
Yeah, those reds, I don't think we're gonna see a lot of fall off until around lap maybe 17 or 18. They do last for quite a while, and the primary tires they don't degrade at all. So I think Ulrich is gonna be able to keep doing basically the same lap times as he's doing currently, but Birel will fall off a little tiny bit.
My guess is we're probably looking at a one stop today for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna split it in half. Basically, I foresee these guys will start hitting pit road around lap 23, 24.
Yep.
Up until lap 28, probably.
We did have one car in the history of Race First covering these official races. The last time we were here with Indy Fixed, Casey Kerwin, which name should sound familiar to a lot of you, did the Indy Fixed race, strength of field, top split, on no stops. Went 30 laps.
Yeah.
So far, that's the only driver in the history of Race First coverage that's managed to complete a race with no stops.
Yeah, but you can definitely save some fuel in certain corners and make the time last around 30. That's why we need to at least do one here, and that's gonna be the strategy. And again, for the guys that started on the alternates, they're gonna hit pit road a little earlier just to get rid of that issue of the tires degrading. But the guys that are on the alternate, like Thurston Elric, the primers. Oh, yes, he hits the wall. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about. He takes the hairpin so tightly that again, no margin for error, just a tiny touch on the wall, but that's enough to send the car spinning. Not a lot of time loss there, though.
No, and I wonder if what damage he might possibly have. It was a light touch, but it was enough to send that car around.
I think there is a tiny bit of damage. He just went very close to the tires, to the tire barrier there in turn one, and now I think he's trying hard to catch back up. And that also brings Sayandra into the fray for this battle.
He is so close to the wall that if you heard riding along board, he is so close to the wall that the iRacing predictive software is predicting a hit, and so it registers a collision sound effect that you hear him hitting the wall. That's how close he is.
Yeah, and nearly on every corner, he's taking advantage of the entire width of the track. But the downside to that is that any tiny movement is going to mean that you are in the wall.
That time giving himself a little bit more room at the hairpin, staying off the curbs at the base of the pin there. You are watching a battle here for fourth between Ulrich here in the car that we've got our eye on, the number 6. Sayandra and the number 1, who is the highest I rating in this race, right behind him, and Dory Ricciuti and P6 there, part of the Old Dogs team. They're chasing down this guy right here for P4. If you are just...
I'm just...
go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say that I'm amazed at how close to the wall Thurston Elric is currently driving. Like, he's at the very edge of control every single corner. So I'm keeping my eye out on him. He's doing a fantastic job. And he already closed that gap. Like, once he hit the wall and spun a little bit, he was around 4.5 seconds to 5 seconds away from Kevin Birel. And he's down to 3.5. So Birel just did a 108.7, and Ulrich just did a 107.9. So around 8 tenths quicker that lap. He's really going for it, and again, so close to the wall every single time. Look at that entry now and exiting the fountain there. It's so no room for error. You cannot feed a paper
right there
between the tires and the wall for Ulrich. He's doing a fantastic job.
That's Racing 101. Use the entire road. And he is approaching a lap car. I'm not sure who that is. That is Charles Eric Lemlin. He is back on the race course. He's moving over to let Ulrich and the remainder of those cars on by, at least Ulrich on by.
And just a little behind these guys, Porcelli has caught with Ricciuti, and he's within striking distance. I imagine he's going to try and do something here on the front stretch, maybe use that push-to-pass button to get a little closer.
He can't use too many more of them. He's already pushed it 5 times already in the first 16 laps. So got to kind of conserve those. Not to mention that he's already used half of his allocation, and that impacts your fuel usage. So he's on a specific fuel schedule. He might have to stop a little bit earlier than he wants to.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't seen that small tidbit. Yeah, already half down on the push-to-pass. And those are very valuable as Ricciuti gets a little loose exit in turn 4. That's going to open the door a little bit for Porcelli.
Nope. Door shut. Yeah, your push-to-pass situation, your leaders each have their 10. Burrell 8, Ulrich 5, 10 for Andra, 8 for Ricciuti, 5 for Porcelli, 10 for Hubler, who is the tail end of this battle. For our house, we have 7, and DeBarro has 3. That is your top 10 currently at the moment. If you're just joining us, this is Race First coverage into Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, top split of the Indy Open Series, coverage sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. We're coming to you from the Long Beach Street Circuit, where we've completed 17 of 46 laps. If you're enjoying Race First coverage of today's race and would like to monetarily support our commentary team, make sure you donate via our GoFundMe link in the description. You can donate right now and not miss out on any of the action. All you have to do is right-click on the description, on the link in our description, and our GoFundMe page will open another tab. Right there, you can make your description and then donation, and you can close it when you're done, and then you'll be right back with us. We can't do it without you, so please donate if you can. 17 of 46, about 3/4 the way through this first stint, maybe 2/3 the way through this first stint. And we're probably looking at pit stops here in the next 6 laps or so, give or take. We might have some early takers getting into the 20s and 21s that may have to do a longer second stint, but we'll see.
Yeah, and now I cannot keep my eyes off of this battle between Andra, Ricciuti, and Porcelli. They are, under a blanket, all of them.
Yep, we got that right here. Not letting this coverage go anywhere. This is the closest battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, Porcelli got a little squirrely there in throttle application, so he lost a little bit of ground, which basically takes away that opportunity to try and send it entering turn 1, but he catches up real quickly, and now we're back to that train with just a couple of car lengths between them, or really no car lengths between them.
See the red hot brake rotors that these guys currently are sporting on these vehicles right now. They are all over the brakes, downshifting into these slow speed corners. This turn right here is probably about the fastest of the turns of on this course right here.
Sure, Nate. Yeah, and treacherous, super treacherous, because if you take it a little bit faster than what you should do, that means you're in the wall, no matter what you do. And on the other hand, if you're too conservative, then you're wasting time and you're losing time to everyone else. So you have to find that happy medium in order to take that corner correctly. Porcelli had a little pick there, but now Ricciuti is getting a little closer to Andra. Is running a really good line. They're making it a little defensive, but not too much. And I don't think at this point anyone is really looking to make a move necessarily, but only to capitalize if somebody else makes a mistake. Because setting up a pass here is tough. There are not very many passing opportunities. We have turn 1, which you can do it if you are able to get side by side, but then you also are in a little bit of a precarious position in case your car drifts up a little bit. And you can also try and do something here in turn 9, although that's a little bit of a desperation move if you try it. And you can also try to hairpin, but going side by side in the hairpin is probably not a good idea.
No. Well, turn 9 at least gives you the opportunity to try to pull the pass off with push to pass. Porcelli heads to the pit road. He's had enough. He goes right on lap 20.
Yeah, and he is on the primary chart, so he's gonna switch to the alternates, and he's gonna have clean track. He's gonna be able to put on some really fast laps and maybe jump both Ricciuti and Sayandra there. We'll see where they cycle back in. Another battle for P9 now is between Navarro and Nathan Solano. Very close together. Solano is really close to Navarro. See if he sends it entering turn 9. No, he thinks better of it. It's gonna be very close here entering the hairpin. But Navarro gets a better exit, although now Nathan Solano is on the push to pass button, and Joe Navarro goes ahead and responds by doing the same thing, although he's going to try and move inside.
Taking a look.
That was some really heads-up driving by Navarro, because he saw that Nathan Solano started gaining on him, and he was like, nope, I'm not going to have it. Let's deploy that push pass right now and try and prevent that. So it's one of the great uses that you can do with your push pass button. It's not only for attack, but a lot of it is also for defense.
Each one of these guys, Navarro has, Navarro has definitely used a lot. He's down to 2 presses left. Solano has 7. So I think really Solano just really needs to bide their time and be patient.
Yep. Yeah, or maybe try an undercut like we saw Porcelli do. He gets a better exit here. He's going to have a run.
Much better exit. But Navarro's going to pit road.
Well, technically he passed him on track. All right, so I see now that Thurston Ulrich, he hasn't given up and has caught back up to Kevin Burrell. So scratch that incident that happened. Let's assume that it didn't, and we're back to square one just a couple of laps later.
The incident never happened.
Now he's going to have
This is not the incident you're looking for.
And Burrell dives into the pits.
And we're on board with Ulrich, who is on push to pass. He is going to want to make sure that when he pits, he comes out in front of Burrell. But right now, he is on push to pass, trying to put as much time between himself and Burrell, who just pitted. That moves Thurston Ulrich up to P3. Brian Carey, Hugo Olsen, still your lead duo up front in those team power slide entries. Brian Carey sliding it through turns 3 there.
Who's that? Anders Saar has just spun. Anders Saar has just spun, exiting the fountain. Luckily, everyone went by with no incident.
That's not a good spot. That's not a good spot. That's not a good spot. No.
Oh, that's Charles Lemelon.
Yeah. That's just bad luck for him. This is bad luck for him. And it looks like our house had some damage done to his rear wing. Now, he was still going at a slow speed, so he must have had something else broken that caused him to spin out taking that corner. Charles Eric Lemelin goes. He goes to pit road as well. Our house looks like he's done.
Yeah. I was just looking at his car. He definitely had quite a bit of damage on that rear wing, and at speed, taking that corner, entering turn 4. That's a recipe for disaster. That's unfortunate.
But we are past halfway now. 24 of 46. Our duo up at the front have not pitted yet. So they are going to look like go for the short fill to get this their races done.
Sayandra is done with his service. Let's see where he merges back in. We know that Porcelli went went to the pits a couple of laps earlier, so it's going to be very interesting to see where he merges back in.
There he comes. He's coming out just in front of Porcelli, and careful. Okay, that right there is a respect for your teammate move.
Yep.
And that is rule 1, racing with your teammate, as you do not wreck your teammate. Rule 2 and teammate racing is you always refer to rule 1.
As now Thurston Ulrich is heading to the pits. That's also a very tight battle. Let's see where he merges back in with Kevin Burrell, who went to the pits lap earlier. So far it worked for Porcelli. Let's we also still have Doriano Ricciuti pending to do his pit stop. We'll see where he merges back in. Interesting. Solana's in the pits as well.
Yep, currently Kerry, Olsen, Dory, and Hubler have not stopped yet. Each are 25 laps into their current stint. So they are going for the long haul. Now, interesting, 2 of those drivers are on the prime, 2 are on the alternates. You're looking at the 2 alts right now. Do the teammates hit pit road? No, they're going to split strategy.
And Ulrich, he went by Burrell. So finally he was able to pass Burrell. Brian Carey is heading to the pits, as well as Doriano Ricciuti.
Oh, there's a car sideways on pit road that Kevin Burrell hits the wall on pit road trying to avoid. That is Kevin Stam. And I don't know if Carey has any damage or not. He's down and away. He's on... visually, he's still showing on the red tires, but on timing and scoring, again, this is the visual glitch that iRacing has not fixed yet. He is on the prime tires at the moment, even though it shows him on the alternates. Let's see if there's any possible damage that occurred from that collision on pit road.
My God. Yeah, just looking at it again, just terrible timing there.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't know. I think you got to be better aware of your surroundings when like that happens. I know you kind of lose track of everything, and you're just trying to correct it and everything on pit road when something like that happens. But you got to be aware. You got to have your relative up. You got to, you got to be everything, because that just might have impacted in a negative way Kerry's race for the remainder of this race.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure. Once you spin, you should be the one. Making sure that completely 100% sure that there's nobody coming once you try and correct your race and keep going.
Hugo Olsen coming off pit road. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you there. Hugo Olsen on the pit road, actually.
All right, and Brian Kerry's pit stop wasn't that bad, so I don't think he had any damage. I think he got away with it.
Olsen's going to come out ahead of him.
Yeah, Olsen's going to be in.
Oh, and up, Kerry into the wall!
Oh, my God.
Kerry's race has just gone from leading to worse, and then into the wall again!
Oh, no, that's a damaged car. Maybe he did have damage. So Ulrich goes by, and it's now P2. Ricciuti is still in the pit lane. Something must have happened to him.
Speeding. Must have been a speeding penalty.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So now Kevin Burrell is seeing all this happening in front of him, and he's like, blood in the water.
And suddenly after that pit cycle, everything changes. Now your leader is Hugo Olsen with a 1.5 second lead over Thurston Ulrich, who we've seen is
and Brian
really
Carey
fast.
Into the pits again. Yeah. Brian Carey into the pits.
Yeah, Carey is really damaged. Man, yeah, I mean, going back to that incident, I know that Kevin Stam didn't mean for it to happen, but
No.
he for sure influenced the race and basically took away the win for Kerry.
Yeah, you got to be
that was
aware.
thing.
You got to be aware of your surroundings. If nothing else, you got to be aware of your surroundings. And Kerry goes up on the jacks. We'll see what happens here if they decide to continue on. Might have some optionals. Nope, he's out of the cockpit. That could be day done there for the Team Power Slide entry. Where there was 2, there is now 1 at the lead for Team Power Slide. Hugh Olsen now picks up the lead over Thorsten Ulrich.
But Ulrich has already closed the gap. It was a second and a half a couple of laps ago, and now it's down to 6 tenths. And he's pushing, and we've seen him all race long using the entire width of the track, having that edge of your moment, edge of your seats moment, and he's there. He's just there, and it's going to be very interesting to see Hugo having to push a little bit more than I'm sure that he would like to do.
Hey,
Yeah,
show
Kerry's out.
show your long-term support of Raceverse and become one of our Patreon members today. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support the channel for now and into the future. There are 3 tier levels to choose from. Perks include seeing your name at the end of every broadcast as the closing credits roll, and special designation on our Discord server. As Patreon membership grows, we will introduce other perks, so stay tuned and join today. Head on over to patreon.com/raceverse to pick your tier. Don't delay. We look forward to you being a Patreon member.
Ulrich is there, and there is a lap traffic in front of Olsen. It's Lucas Einkammer and Kevin Stam in front of him. Oh, let's see if he's able to clear one of them.
Olsen's on push to pass. Olsen's on push to pass. He does not want to wait. He's going to send it.
Oh,
nope.
He wasn't able to do it.
Nope.
I don't know.
Ulrich. Not a good place to pass there.
That's also something that I mean, I know that it's Lucas Einkammer is racing his race, but I would just move, get out of the way, not necessarily push that hard to stay on, I don't know, 2 laps down.
I mean, he's 6 laps down at the moment. If I was on the end of the lead lap or fighting to stay on the lead lap, I would probably make a bigger stand here. But I think Lucas should probably let these 2 go. He's going to let Olsen go, but now he's going to inhibit Ulrich. And Ulrich's going to send it.
Oh, my God.
Ulrich, I might have tapped him.
Yeah, he did. I don't know, man. Well, more adversity thrown Ulrich's way.
Come on, boys. Let these guys race.
And yeah, Ulrich just came into the voice chat. He's understandably very upset. I mean, I think I am too a little bit. And he's not moving. He's not belching. Oh my God!
On the
Ulrich
outside
makes
of the
it
line.
3 wide, and he makes it work. I cannot believe he just did that. What a move!
Wow!
But he lost a second and a half in that.
He's going to get it back. He's going to try to get it back.
But yeah, to your point, I mean, whenever you are so many laps down, just get out of the way. I mean, you're not really affecting anybody but the leaders. So why would you do that? Just, you know, like you said, you need to be smart. You need to be aware of where you're in the track, who is driving around you, and just make good decisions. You don't need to block the leaders.
I always say that the IndyCar community has a very long memory. Everyone, for the most part, gets along with everyone, but we remember, don't we? We remember those that shorted us one way or another, and when that time comes to pay it back on the racetrack, you know, I remember those that have wrecked me before, and I don't give any of those guys any extra chances. But when I race people clean and people take note of me racing them clean, I notice that those people are willing to race me a little bit harder, but also willing to give me the benefit of the doubt when they're down and I'm up, just to get on out of the way. And we remember that stuff.
For sure. I think we'll have a list of sorts. A black list and a white list. Good guys, bad guys. Yeah, we remember.
Ooh,
we might not remember a lot of things, Ulrich, in the wall, just a tiny bit. But yeah, we might not be the best at remembering what we ate for breakfast, but we certainly will remember who wronged us on track.
Yes, for sure. We have some bills to pay with Team Watson Racing setups. We're going to go side by side, and we'll be right back right after this ad. We are back. Race First coverage of the Indy Open Series is sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. Visit teamwatsonracing.com for all the setups you need for the Indy Open Series and much more. Use the code WATSPIN39, that's W-A-T-S-P-I-N 39 for 5% off your next purchase. We want to thank James Watson and his team for their ongoing support of our Indy Open coverage this season.
All right, so after taking a little bit of a breather there, we're back to it. Ulrich is, again, very close to Olsen. He managed to make that. Oh, Olsen is in the wall! Olsen's in the wall!
Ulrich into the lead!
Oh, my. Wow, that was, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Ulrich was putting out so much pressure. He was, like, anytime he went back a couple of seconds, he would just grind up, get them back a couple of laps later, and pressure the guys in front of him again and again. He did that all race with Burrell. He did that these couple of laps with Olsen, and now he's leading for the first time today in lap 34 out of 46. So 13 laps to go. Great time to be leading your first couple of laps today, right?
Yeah, and we're watching to see if there's any performance detriment to Olsen's car. We'll get back up to live coverage here. Olsen back 1.5 of Ulrich. He's going to bypass pit road and continue on. So now that opens the door for Kevin Burrell, who's back about 6.5 seconds. Maybe he can reel him in as Ulrich has pulled away to a 1.6 second lead himself.
Oh, Ulrich almost in the wall. He's still pushing. I'm not sure I would be doing that, but you know, that's why I'm not driving.
Let's give you a drone view of the Long Beach area. Of course, home to the Queen Mary there off into the distance. Used to have the little Spruce Goose, but they've relocated that up to Portland. Got the, of course, you got the aquarium there. Long Beach, a major shipping port on the West Coast. Container ships from all over the world are offshore. Dozens, hundreds of them at any time are offshore here in Long Beach. And now with, of course, Ontario gone, Riverside gone, and now Fontana going to be gone. This will be probably the only IndyCar race we're going to see in Southern California for quite some time.
I hope that doesn't have, I mean, yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case, but it would be great if for whatever reason NASCAR scrapped those plans of turning Auto Club into a parking lot or a small, really small oval. and that IndyCar would find a way back to Auto Club. It's a great track.
2.5 second lead now over Olsen. Burrell now 6 seconds to Olsen. So we do have some performance issues right now on the Olsen car, as you would expect. Oh, Ulrich sliding through.
I mean, Ulrich is still pushing like he's trying to catch these guys in front of him and pass them. I would be maintaining the gap, but that's just me. He's trying to go for another lap on Kevin Sam, and I'm not sure who's in front. It's Ben Goyet. But again, lap traffic might come into play. Kevin Sam going by Goyet. Goyet very gentlemanly, pulls aside, lets the leader by. See, that's what I would think that, who was it? Einkemer. I thought that was what Einkemer was going to do.
Yeah. Goyet in a green Red Bull car. I haven't seen that before. I don't know if that's a special one for Formula One. Of course, everyone knows my thoughts about green cars. They're bad luck anyways.
And if you pair that with Red Bull, that's probably like double whammy. All right, so Ulrich was able to get away from Hugo Olsen there and add a couple lap cars between him and Olsen. So I assume at this point he's not going to be pushing that much.
Yep, 10
but
laps
I
to go.
would be wrong. I would be wrong. I know it, but.
Well, once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Race First coverage of the Saturday 2 p.m. Eastern top split of the Indy Open Series, sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. Coming to you from the Long Beach Street Course, where Thorsten Ulrich is bouncing off every wall, but has somehow managed to lead this race with about 9 laps to go. But hey, show your support of Race First. Become a member on Patreon, on our Patreon page today. Join us at patreon.com/racefirst. Make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Next week, Indy Open, we're going to the improper version of Phoenix.
Improper version. Yep. Yeah, no, I agree.
Every IndyCar driver or fan, driver, whatever in this game you talk to, what version of Phoenix do you like? Everyone's like a Legacy Phoenix. Not this new NASCAR-ized version of Phoenix, which is now what turn 1 is what turns 3 and 4 used to be. Just an unneeded change. That open dogleg, awful, just awful. And to watch those taxi cabs race the open dogleg, oh my God, that is it looks like everyone trying to board a Southwest airline plane. It's just like no organization whatsoever. Everyone just spreads out and tries to funnel through one area, and that's kind of what it reminds me going through the open dogleg there when you watch NASCAR coverage. So, well, IndyCar is going to go there, but these cars will not. You will not see them using the open dogleg like that.
Unless somebody gets desperate, but I don't think. I mean, the car can get damaged. And especially after iRacing did a change to the damage model on the IR18, which is now, it's a little sensitive. If you keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it, you're gonna eventually get, a broken rear axle or some sort of deficiency that's gonna take speed away from your car. So, yeah, I bet that nobody was gonna, try it, but maybe not desperation move. Somebody will.
Well, we're moving back to Kevin Burrell here on the bottom step of the podium. He has himself about a second and a half cushion, not much. It looks a lot closer than really that time says it is, over the satellite racing teammates of Andra and Porcelli. In fact, Andra is trying to run him down on push to pass. Burrell on push to pass. Burrell actually has a human spotter, and his spotter probably saw Andra go on push to pass, and then Burrell answers with push to pass. It's one of the benefits of having a human spotter. You can watch the overlay, watch their name light up, and then you can tell your driver he's on it, you need to be on it. And he is currently about 1.5 seconds still ahead of Andra, but he is running down Olsen. He now has Olsen down to 5 seconds. As he rounds this corner here, you might see Olsen's car in the foreground or the background. Actually, when he turns 8 here and going down the straightaway, you will see Olsen's car. There it is, just going under the Firestone sign. So he is reeling in Olsen. Olsen has fallen 5.3 seconds behind Ulrich now. So we'll continue to watch this. Mr. Excitement, Thorsten Ulrich still up front. There's still a number of things that he can do, smacking the wall. He's come close on a number of occasions. We're going to try to keep an eye on him, but that battle for third is going to heat up here in the last 6 laps or so. This time by, we'll give you a lap report for P2 and P3.
my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah.
Hugo Olsen, 108.7, Burrell 108.2, so a half second faster that time, Burrell. Running out of time, though.
Yeah, for sure, running out of time. And I was still looking at Thurston Ulrich. He hits the wall again in turn one. Like he doesn't care. He's going for it. It's like he's trying to make up a deficit of some sort. Like he's behind somebody. It seems like he only has one mode, and that's 100% attack, and that's great. He's of course the fastest the fastest car on the track. Last time by, he was around 3/10 quicker than everybody else, and I don't think he's gonna stop anytime soon.
I believe the purple lap right now is Principal Dan at a 107.131, but Ulrich's best lap is a 107.152, so he's not too far off the purple lap. He's probably not going to set it now, even though he's on light tanks, because those prime tires are going to be pretty well worn here. He's 17 laps into his current stint, so I don't see him getting any faster.
Yeah,
but
no,
he's still turning pretty good laps, so 108.1 that time by.
Yeah, essentially a second faster than Hugo Olsen in P2, and around 6 cents faster than Kevin Burrell P3.
But
so yeah, he's still going for it.
Ulrich seems determined to do some remodeling here of this circuit. He wants to tear down a couple of these walls.
And the car's sliding around. He's leading, and he's leading by a wide margin. So, yeah, good to see him. And like you said, Mr. Excitement, he has me glued to him. I can't keep my eyes off of him because he's so fun to watch.
It used to be the old nickname, if I remember my my NASCAR history. Mr. Excitement was Jimmy Spencer. Well, we need that. We need to give a new nickname to somebody, and that's IndyCar driver here. So Thurston Ulrich now, Mr. Excitement here on the Sunday Strength of Field, or Saturday Strength of Field, 2 p.m. Eastern. Strength of Field race here, Indy Open Series here on iRacing. Coverage sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. Make sure to check them out after the race. And there he goes again, trying to knock down turn 4. And to be honest, Thurston, I don't like that portion of the racetrack either. I like the old configuration before they moved to this one.
The old layout?
That's the one I learned on IndyCar Racing 1 and 2. And that's, of course, if you want to run that one, you might be able to. I don't know if they have that on any other sims, but you got to get old DOS version of IndyCar Racing 1 and 2 to race the old Long Beach course, the one that Al Unser Jr. won 4 straight on.
And I saw that somebody did some sort of mod to play IndyCar Racing 2 with a steering wheel, and it worked. I might have to dig that up to run around the layout, the old layout of Long Beach, and I think I've mentioned it every single race we've done, but Cleveland, and I will not shut up until we have a Berg Lake Airport around here.
Well, actually, you could have used. You can use. When I ran at IndyCar Racing 1 and 2, 3 laps ago here, Ulrich leads Olsen by 7.3 seconds. Burrell on push to pass now 3 seconds behind Olsen. So let's take a look there as Ulrich's power slides through turns 5. I want to go back and watch this other battle, but the second I leave, I don't want to miss Thurston if he does a Tokyo Drift moment. But the old IndyCar Racing 1 and 2, you could race with a wheel. In fact, my very first wheel was a Thrustmaster T2 wheel, and I think I broke the springs in it, and then I moved to what they called their NASCAR Pro wheel, because everything was NASCAR back then. I don't think you could find anything that was sim racing related that wasn't labeled with NASCAR on it that you could buy in the store. And I used that for the longest time, but I think the biggest problem is the game is a DOS-based game, and is finding DOS drivers in order to take. So you have to do some sort of emulator in order for, if you have like a Fanatec wheel or a newer Thrustmaster wheel, in order to get it to work. But you can use. I've seen GP laps. Oh my goodness, GP laps on YouTube used a wheel and pedal combination to race in IndyCar Racing 2. So it is possible. I'd watch his channel. In fact, I might want to get him on a broadcast sometime. But man, Thurston is trying to remodel this place in his own image.
And he keeps pushing and pushing and pushing.
You can hear, if you listen carefully when he takes these turns, you can hear that back end. You can hear that back end want to go. If you can hear it right there.
Sliding, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember somebody that was leading with this huge of a gap that was still pushing like it was, the beginning of the race, and that's kudos to him. He's made it very entertaining for us, but it certainly is dangerous. Like we said at the beginning, this track really offers no margin for error at all, and he's been there, white flag waves, but he's been there every single time, just in the nick of disaster every single lap. But last lap he's leading, goes through turn 1 cleanly, now entering the fountain, turn 2 and 3, everything goes well, very close to the exit there, turn 4, all good,
7.6
a little bit of wall tapping,
yeah.
Turn 5, everything's okay, no sliding this time by, now coming to turn 6.
He's got an 8.5 second lead over Ulrich now. That just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yep. Ulrich must be having some performance issues, while the barrier to or the difference to Burrell getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Last time in
Ulrich
9
is now entering turn 9, yeah. And he backed it up a little bit this time by. I think he realized it. Okay, we're done. Turn 11, the hairpin very tight, very clean. Oh, slides it around.
Now, I think that was just a little hot dog in it right there. The way that he kind of peeled out of corner number the hairpin there, corner number 11, coming in, and of course wiggling the car coming to the start-finish line. But there's your winner, and let's check out Hugo Olsen, and he has got secured P2. And Kevin Burrell, another podium for Kevin. And so I hope he's in Discord, because he's probably the one of the best interviews that we have consistently here when we do the IndyCar official race broadcasts.
That was, it was a lot of fun. Right.
All right, well, let's take a look at the final stats and classifications here. Just 1 second.
So there we go. Thurston Elric with a masterful drive coming from, well, not necessarily the back, but I think he started P4, and he just made his way around everyone. He was driving like a madman, but in a fun way. A very harder wind, and very fun for us, so congratulations to him. Rounding up the podium, we have Hugo Olsen and Kevin Burrell. Great race for those guys as well. And Olsen, I mean, he had that issue with, hitting the wall. That could have been potentially disastrous, and he still manages to keep it running and coming home P2, so kudos to that. Then we have Syandra and David Porcelli, P4 and P5 respectively, with Zachary Hubler and Doriano Ricciuti, P6 and P7. Ben Goyette, Nathan Suliano, and Dan Piazza round out the top 10. Then we have Kevin Stam, P11, Lucas Ankemer, P12, John DeVaro, P13, Brian Carey. That's so unfortunate. He had an incident with Kevin Stam on pit road, P14, after a very strong race. It would have been interesting to see how Thurston Elric would have dealt with Brian Carey, or if he could have dealt with Brian Carey. Because I think at that point they were just Carey and Olsen happy to, drive around and pull away, because they were pulling away from Virel that was in P3 at that point. But anyway, P14 for Brian Carey. Then we have Andres Arhus, P15, Charles Milan, P16, Andrew Petty, and Rashad Craig. They are rounding up the results for today's race.
Yep, only an 18-car field. That's a pretty good number here. Good race, though, overall. Your biggest gainer of the race, Ben Goyette, who finished 8th, up 9 spots. And I believe the purple lap went to Principal Dan there with a 107.131. Small solace, even though Dan finished in the top 10. I'm sure he wanted to do a lot better than just get the purple lap. But I think he walks away with that acknowledgement today.
Ooh, well,
all right.
Well, catch your breath here.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's take a look and see who we got in the interview room. There we got Kevin Burrell and Hugo Olsen. So let's bring up Kevin, and basically we just let him go. So we'll talk, and we'll just say, okay, Kev, go, and he will take care of everything. He does shout outs, spot. He gets everything done like he's a pro at this. So we'll watch this. Watch this. So hey, Kevin, you're on mute, but we got you in here. So we're just gonna let you. We're gonna press go on the we're gonna press go here on the Burrell button here and just let you fly because we know you know how to do these interviews and you always have a good time doing them. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and just go. Tell us about your race.
My brain has finally shut down. I think I've overloaded after this race. It was just like, man, it was just Long Beach. I mean, well, we all know like Long Beach. You come into Long Beach and it's just, at least for me, it's a nightmare. Like, I like this track a lot. Historically, like, it doesn't even matter the class. Like, GT3s, I'm awful at GT3s. Like, it doesn't matter if I have like almost 6K I rating. I drive GT3s like I have like 2K or less. But it doesn't matter. Long Beach and only Long Beach, I can thrive. I'm in my lane. I'm moisturized. I feel perfect. And, it's my track. But in the IndyCar, man, it's just such a struggle to put the power down at all of those like bumpy intersection corners, like after the fountain. Mm-hmm. And I really worked hard this week on trying to get the setup to just, at the cost of any kind of performance or ability to really turn. My only focus was just any ability to stably put the power down at those corners, at the exit. And unfortunately, I think I ended up at a spot of having no ability to turn and also still not really putting the power down. I mean, I think the setup was good in the end. I think it was, obviously pretty good compared to, maybe what some people ended up with. But, oh, man, it's still just the confidence was not there. And, at least for me in IndyCar, I really need to feel a lot of confidence in the ability of the car to not just snap and kill me, and it was not there today. But I got a solid qual time, and I actually, the biggest piece of luck in the race, Thorsten was just pushing so hard behind me, and when he had that like moment where he clipped the wall at the hairpin, it gave me like 3 or 4 seconds of kind of wiggle room to just not push at the end of my red stint. And that was critical, actually, as it turns out, because I think if I had to push really hard to either hold him off or stay right behind him the entirety of the remainder of my red stint, I think that would have been ruinous for me. I mean, at least with my set the way it was, even making it to 22 laps, which is where I pit, was just like, that was already... by that point, the rears just felt like they had no traction at all. The lap pace was good, but it just felt like, if I pushed too hard at that point, it was over. And luckily it wasn't, I guess, and then put on the primaries and they felt good right away, which probably means I should have had a different wing setting for the alt stint. And, in the end, from that point onwards, I would have been happy with a third or a fourth. I mean, a podium is always nice, but I'm just trying to think the long game here for season champ points.
Yeah.
And I would have just been happy to get through the race, to be honest, at that point. And, I really focused on having a solid qual this week and then just, taking, as they say, high percentage moves. I wasn't going to fight. And obviously, huge congrats to really anyone who finished the race, to be honest, because or just anyone who even had the courage to show up today, because it's such a struggle here. And I was very impressed by Hugo and Thorsten's pace as well. And Thorsten, actually, especially because, he just... I ran into him in, like, a slot yesterday, just randomly running the race. And then I told him, like, hey, there's a SOF race. We had an amazing race, just randomly in, like, a 1500.
Oh, so this
SOF
is your
yesterday.
fault. This is your fault.
Dude, I know. Okay.
No.
Maybe I should have... I prefer to say nothing, because if I say something, I am in big trouble.
No, we love seeing new drivers. We love seeing new drivers.
Dude, I know, but he just demolished. I mean, like, it was crazy. It was seriously crazy. But, he's on TX3, and I used to race a lot with the TX3 guys in Gran Turismo back when I did that, and so big no surprise to me at all that he's actually just insanely fast. So
Well,
yeah,
he's actually in the waiting room, so we're going to hear from him. But
yeah,
man,
thanks, and
another podium for you, and get all these shout outs out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, actually I have been feeling a little ill lately. I actually had my epilepsy medication increased recently, and may have had an adverse reaction to that. It ended up in the ER last night.
Oh.
It wasn't even...
Oh, no.
I'm okay, don't worry, nothing's really wrong. Probably fine. But I wasn't even sure last night that I could make it to this race, let alone, do well. So let me just say that I am so happy to, even just get through the race, let alone get on the podium. So big shout outs to the Team Watson Racing guys, of course. And Adam Crane, obviously, always for his support in this stuff. Zach here sitting right next to me for being an amazing spotter, crew chief, all of that. And yeah, just all the IndyCar guys for being awesome and doing this every week. And of course, you guys for running this great broadcast. So yeah, thanks, and catch you on the other side.
No problem. You are too kind.
Cheers.
And he is our IndyCar soldier in the ER last night, in the cockpit today. Kevin Burrell, P3, next week at Phoenix. We'll see you there, man.
Cheers. Have a good one.
See ya. All right. Hugo Olson, bringing him on up. Hey, Hugo. Congratulations on the P2, but it looked like you might have been trying to fight off a ill-handling car there toward the end. You managed to bring it home second, but let's talk about your race up until the point that you started you hit the wall there in turn one, and then your car kind of went south from there on out. But tell us about your race.
Yeah, I mean, on the red tires, the car worked really good for both me and Brian, I think. I was able to save some fuel there, and I tried going for the overcut, which looked to play out, but I know Brian had some issues in pit lane too, so I don't really know about how
yeah,
it
we
let
Brian know our condolences on that. We feel bad for him that he got caught up in that and some other stuff that was going on the racetrack. So we know that he had a good result probably in hand that kind of got taken away from him. So let him know that we took note of that during the broadcast. But you guys had a great strategy, it looked like.
Yeah, it was looking really good for a 1-2 for power slide there, but I over the years we had, or is it 1 year now, with this updated tire model for the road circuits, I haven't done that much practice in colder temps, so I didn't really know what to do for the black primary tires when that came, so I did the usual thing, but it just ended up being way too understeer, so I couldn't really get to the black tires worked in there on the second stint. So I was trying to hold Torsten off, pushing as hard as I could, but it didn't really improve over the laps. And then in turn one, I made a slight mistake and braked a couple of meters too late, and yeah, I couldn't get it turned there or slow down, so got a wall. And I thought that both right side corners would be off the car, so I tried to get out of the way as soon as possible, but it turned out I only got slightly scratched or bent on the front right off the wing. Maybe on the side pod too, I don't know.
Yeah, we were looking at the replay and we were like, oh no, that's potentially race ending, but we were very happy to see you keep going and managing to come home P2. At some point during the race, while you were trying to fend off Ulrich behind you, there were some lap cars in front of you that were not making it easy. How was that moment of the race for you?
Yeah, it was stressful, both having to look both forward and backwards in my mirrors.
That's why God gave us two eyes, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I was trying to make a move one time into turn one, but was it Lucas? He wouldn't quite give it to me there, so I had to back out of it, and then he got in too deep at the same time, so we had to both check up on the exit, both me and Torsten. Was close there, and then I was able to get him on the back straight. I think that's the mid part of the circuit where my setup worked the best. I noticed compared to Brian, he was running a slightly different one that I was able to close in on the back straight, and I think that would have been my best overtaking spot if I would have done more battles.
Gotcha. Well, that fantastic race, anyways. Even with the adversity that was thrown at you, you still managed to come home P2. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Brian, of course, with that incident, and also he has put a lot of work into the road setups recently, and he has done a lot of work on them and trying new concepts, and yeah, I had to thank him and Powerslide too for the speed we have had lately.
Well,
All
congratulations.
right,
you hung on there for that P2 despite all the adversity. And I believe you're 3 for 3 in terms of 3 starts or 4 for 4. I forget what round we're in now. But I believe you're perfect for the season in terms of top split and ending up on the podium. So congratulations, and we'll see you on the oval next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, see you guys.
See ya. And let's bring up our winner, Thurston Ulrich. Hey, Thurston, we got you here in the booth. Didn't mean to butcher your name there. Congratulations, man. First win here, at least when it comes to our broadcasting of the Saturday top split. We've dubbed you Mr. Excitement because you certainly like to get near those walls and sometimes do a little bit more with them. But tell us about your race. And it was without excitement for sure, because you had tons of it, especially bouncing off the wall and getting sideways there in the hairpin.
Yeah, I clipped the wall there. It was a bit too tight. I had like 2 or 3 moments before where I just clipped it, but this time it was too close.
Yeah, we saw that you were
ahead.
pushing and pushing every single lap. You have even made a 3-wide move on some lap cars, like late in the race when you were chasing Hugo Olsen. How was that? And we also saw that you were like pushing every single lap. Like even after you went by Hugo, you were still pushing and pushing and getting really close to the walls. So it seemed to us that you only have like one mode, and that's full attack. What was your how would you see, or how would you explain that for us?
I feel super confident with the car here. So much fun. I love this combo. The 3-wide move, I had to get by that lap car, which was blocking us for like 1.5 laps already.
Mhm.
It cost me already 1 second up to that point. I just had to try it. In German, you say Pokal or Spital. It's all or nothing.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to try it, and sadly Hugo clipped the ball a few laps later. It would be a super nice fight.
Well, it was that was a sweet move.
Yeah.
That 3-wide move, and like we were saying during the broadcast, we just couldn't keep our eyes off of you because you were using the entire width of the track, and like Gary alluded to, maybe scraping the walls just a tiny bit, but in the end you managed to do a pretty much flawless race and ended up here in the winner's victory lane. So this is your first time running this top split races on Saturdays. Will we see you here more? Maybe eventually next week, even at Phoenix, the Oval.
As a German, I'm not so much into oval racing.
Got it. Yeah, that's fair.
But road courses for sure. That car is so much fun. It's actually my most loved open wheel car, iRacing. So I try to get every road course.
All right, then we'll see you here on all the road course rounds. I think we still have plenty of them upcoming.
Yep.
So Thurston, would you like to give a shout out to anyone?
Some of the guys are watching it just before the race. I shared the link. They enjoyed it seems. So yeah, thank you for broadcasting. Was a good one, as I heard.
Well, we appreciate you definitely. We hear this is all Kevin Burrell's fault. He's the one that He's the one that invited you to this. So
Yeah. Actually, yes, we raced yesterday already.
We'll blame him, but I think it launched a new star. We really liked how you performed in the IndyCar. We hope to see even more races, and yes, even on the ovals. I think you'll probably do very well there. But next week is Phoenix. If we see you there, great. If not, we'll see you at the next road course race. But congratulations on your first win here, Long Beach in the IndyCar, here on the Saturday Strength of Field race.
Thank you.
And we also got Cy Anders here. Cy Anders, excuse me, here. We'll bring him on up. Talk to him a little bit about Satellite Racing and their performance. They finished 4th and 5th on the final results today, so not a bad day for Satellite Racing. Hey, Cy, we'll bring you on up real quick. We saw you in the waiting room. Not a bad day for you guys with Satellite Racing. Both of you guys finished in the top 5. Tell us about your day.
Well, unfortunately, it's 2 P4s back to back at Laguna and Long Beach, which I want to get on the podium sooner or later. But today it was close today with Kevin. I think we were on different strategies, so I was closing him down at the end there. But I think a little bit of traffic and a little bit of my alternates going off helped him out at the end there. Besides that, I think it was a pretty good race. I think there was a little bit of complaining about back markers and lap traffic. Yep. But besides that, I didn't really see anything worth complaining about.
How's the Satellite Racing's short oval setup?
That's an Adam question. That's definitely not a me question. The most I did in ovals was street stocks. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, well, that's next week. We're going to Phoenix, and it's a whole other monster. But while we have you here, just real quick, go ahead and give your shout-outs to your sponsors and whatnot. Of course, you guys had a pretty good day. 2 top 5s for the team. I know you want that podium, but on a team point of view, not a bad day.
Not at all. Obviously, big thanks to Ellis Engineering. Big thanks to Adam Crane for helping me build the setup and give me a rocket ship, at least what it felt like to me. And thanks for David helping me out with the strategy during the race, and thanks to him for being such a good teammate that we covered off Ricky Udy pretty early in the race.
All right, well, congratulations, and we will see you next week. Not Portland, jeez. Phoenix, the improper version of Phoenix. We'll see you. Congratulations. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Oh, wait, I'm bringing him up here. Hopefully we'll get Portland one of these days. Yeah, no kidding. Wishful thinking. Okay. All right. So I think we have a new star in the offing here with Thorsten Ulrich there, and the I'm trying to think. He said, German and ovals. Now, I have a teammate, Thomas Geisler, that with Race First, that he won the last Velocity Online Racing race at Indianapolis on the oval there. So I know Germans can run the oval. They just got to do it. But if I go back and look at the history of IndyCar racing, not an extremely deep history of Germans, period, and not a lot of Germans on the oval at all. I want to give them a good example, and I can't think of a good one right now. But I believe there's some. A good history and lineage of German drivers, but not a lot in terms when it comes to the Indy 500. But man, a great run for him today, and I think the Mr. Excitement moniker will be. I think it's well deserved, and I think it's going to stick.
Yeah, no, definitely. He more than earned that, and looking forward to watching him in future races. And like you said, it's starting to make it. Yeah, and as for the German drivers, I vaguely remember there was someone driving that oval that lost its string back in the old kart days, but not off the top of my head. Anyway,
Arne Meyer is the only one that's coming to mind right in the kart days, but I know there's more out there. I'll tell you what, if Thurston's in the next race, I will have a detailed report on German drivers in IndyCar racing and the best performers there. How about that?
Sure, sounds great.
All right. So next week, Phoenix.
Oh man, the improper version of Phoenix. Well, if Indy fixed this, has given us a little bit of a preview, I think it's going to be a little similar. Very tough to pass. I don't know if we're going to be running it at day or at night. If it's at night, then the tires will not degrade at all. and it's gonna be very tough, and it's gonna become a very processional kind of race where track position is king. If it's done in the afternoon, then we will see a little bit of fall off and maybe some alternate strategies. Still a very tough place to pass, but you can make it work, especially on turns 1 and 2, the new 1 and 2, the old 3 and 4 from the real good version of Phoenix. You can basically take them flat out in different lanes. You can go to the top, you can go middle, you can go low, you can do a little bit of a diamond shape in there. So a lot of options there, but we'll see. It really depends a lot on the track settings for the day and the setups that the teams bring. So it's gonna be fun. As usual, we're gonna see comers and goers. So yeah, looking forward to that. And Long Beach, it didn't disappoint at all. I mean, from time to time, these can become a little bit more monotone and just following one another and nobody really getting close to each other. But this time around, we saw action all over the place, and then we had Mr. Excitement then, making it for the last 10-15 laps. He was on a mission, and he accomplished that mission, and he's now sitting in Beach Lane.
So that's it for today. Once again, your podium from the beach is Thurston Orwick with his first win here, followed by Hugo Olsen, and on the bottom step, a very happy Kevin Burrell. Join Race First again next week for round 4, the Indy Open Series, as we return back to where we were just last Monday on our fixed coverage, and it was a night race, so we'll just have to check the schedule, see if it's another night race, but we're going back to the improper version of Phoenix. Yeah. But coverage should begin approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. And again, that is 2 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com/RaceFirst. As always, check the official iRacing schedule or our channel for the correct time in your area. Race First coverage of the Indy Open Series is sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. Visit TeamWatsonRacing.com for all the setups you need for the Indy Open season. As you saw, one of their drivers finished on the podium today. Use the code WATSPIN39 for 5% off your next purchase. So that's WATSPIN 39. That's 5% off your next purchase. TeamWatsonRacing.com. Obviously, they did well today. Buy them today, race them tomorrow. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're not easy. Require time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the Indy Open Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our Indy Open Broadcast Fund. Also, you can become a Race First Patreon today. Visit patreon.com/RaceFirst and become a member. We realize times are tough, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and make us a part of your Saturdays each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. If you leave a comment below, let us know about today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, just like this. And if you're new, click subscribe, and while at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out more Race First's iRacing programming, including Season 4 of 2022, the Monday Night Indy Fix Stop Split, and the continuation of the Race First Formula Indy Series on Tuesdays. So change that red button to gray, and we would appreciate it. For the most in-depth knowledge of IndyCar racing anywhere on all of iRacing, Race First, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit us at racefirst.com. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Here are all of our Twitter handles right here. Myself, Antonio, Nick, who wasn't able to join us today, and of course there's Race First. So for Antonio Estrada, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gotts. Send all thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women in the military serving and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week at the awful version of Phoenix for the next race of the Indy Open Series. Good night.
Good night.